The name Atlantis echoes through the corridors of history, a whisper of a lost paradise. It conjures images of a magnificent island civilization, swallowed by the sea in a cataclysmic event. For millennia, the tale has captivated thinkers, explorers, and dreamers alike. The central question remains a tantalizing enigma. Was Atlantis a real place or merely a powerful myth? Our journey into this mystery begins not with archaeology, but with philosophy. The sole primary source for the story of Atlantis is the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, Plato introduced the island kingdom in two of his famous dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. The story is presented as a historical account, passed down through generations. Plato frames it as a narrative told by his relative, Critias, who heard it from his grandfather. The grandfather, in turn, had heard it from the great Athenian statesman, Solon. Solon was said to have learned of Atlantis from Egyptian priests in the city of Say. These priests claimed their temple records chronicled a history stretching back thousands of years. They spoke of a mighty power that emerged from the Atlantic Ocean 9,000 years before their time. This power was the island empire of Atlantis, situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Plato's description of Atlantis is one of breathtaking detail and grandeur. The island was a marvel of both natural abundance and sophisticated engineering. At its heart lay a central hill, which was the original dwelling of the island's founders. The founders were the god Poseidon and a mortal woman named Cleito. Poseidon fell in love with Cleito and, to protect her, he sculpted the very land around her home. He created 3 concentric rings of water and 2 of land, isolating the central hill. This unique geography made the capital city an impregnable fortress. Descendants of Poseidon and Cleito, a line of 10 kings, ruled the island. They transformed the city into a wonder of the ancient world. Great canals were dug to connect the outer sea to the central rings. This allowed ships to sail directly into the heart of the city. The land itself was incredibly fertile, producing 2 harvests a year. Lush forests covered the mountains, and the plains were home to a vast array of animals, including elephants. The city boasted magnificent public buildings, temples and palaces. The most impressive was the temple dedicated to Poseidon himself. Its exterior was covered entirely in silver, with pinnacles of gold. The interior was even more lavish, with a roof of ivory adorned with gold, silver, and a mysterious metal called orichalcum. Plato describes orichalcum as a substance that gleamed like fire. Statues of gold filled the temple, depicting the first 10 kings and their divine ancestor. The Atlanteans possessed advanced knowledge of engineering and architecture. They built great bridges over the rings of water and warm and cold fountains for their baths. The city was a bustling metropolis, a hub of trade and culture. Its military might was unparalleled in the ancient world. Atlantis commanded a vast navy of 1,200 warships. Its army was a formidable force, with legions of soldiers, chariots, and cavalry. For generations, the Atlanteans were a noble and virtuous people. They valued wisdom and virtue above their immense wealth. However, this golden age was not to last. Slowly, the divine nature of the kings became diluted as they intermarried with mortals. Their human nature began to dominate, and they were filled with avarice and ambition. Hubris corrupted their society from the inside out. They ceased to bear their prosperity with moderation. The once virtuous kingdom transformed into an aggressive, imperialistic power. The Atlantean kings set their sights on conquest. They gathered their immense forces and launched a campaign to enslave the lands around the Mediterranean. They successfully conquered parts of Libya and Europe, establishing a tyrannical rule. Their campaign of domination eventually brought them into conflict with Athens. Plato presents ancient Athens as the antithesis of Atlantis, a model of an ideal, virtuous state. The Athenians, though outnumbered, led a coalition of free peoples against the invaders. When their allies deserted them, the Athenians stood alone against the might of the Atlantean Empire. Through their courage and superior military discipline, they defeated the invaders. They liberated the lands that had fallen under Atlantean control. The final judgment on Atlantis came not from man, but from the gods. The divine powers, witnessing the kingdom's corruption, decided to enact a terrible punishment. In a single, dreadful day and night, the world was shaken by violent earthquakes and floods. The island of Atlantis, with all its splendor and its people, was swallowed by the sea. It vanished beneath the waves, leaving behind only a shoal of mud, making the area impassable. This is where Plato's account in Critias abruptly ends, leaving the story unfinished. The tale's dramatic conclusion has fueled speculation for centuries. Many scholars, including Plato's own student Aristotle, believed the story was a fabrication. Aristotle famously stated that he who invented it also destroyed it. This view holds that Atlantis was a noble lie, a philosophical allegory. It served as a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris, corruption, and imperial ambition. The story contrasts the ideal state of Athens with the flawed, materialistic empire of Atlantis. For centuries, this was the prevailing interpretation of the Atlantis story. The tale was largely considered a work of fiction, a product of Plato's brilliant imagination. However, the idea of a real, lost continent never completely faded away. The modern obsession with finding a historical Atlantis was ignited in the 19th century. In 1882, a former U.S. congressman named Ignatius Donnelly published Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. Donnelly's book argued passionately that Plato's account was literal history. He proposed that Atlantis was a real, highly advanced civilization, the mother culture of all subsequent ones. He connected Atlantean culture to ancient Egypt, the Mayans, and others, creating a web of speculative links. The book was a massive bestseller and single-handedly revived the search for the lost city. Since then, countless theories have emerged proposing locations all over the globe. Perhaps the most scientifically plausible and widely discussed theory centers on the Minoan civilization. The Minoans flourished on the island of Crete and the surrounding Aegean islands during the Bronze Age. They were a sophisticated maritime culture known for their beautiful art, grand palaces, and advanced engineering. Around 1600 BC, the island of Thera, now known as Santorini, experienced one of the largest volcanic eruptions in human history. Thera was a thriving outpost of the Minoan civilization. The eruption blew the center out of the island, creating a massive caldera. It triggered enormous tsunamis that would have devastated the coast of nearby Crete. The parallels to Plato's story are striking. The modern-day island of Santorini, with its ring-like shape, bears a resemblance to Plato's description of the Atlantean capital. Proponents of this theory suggest Plato's timeline was off. They argue that Solon's Egyptian sources may have said 900 years, which was mistranslated to 9,000. This would place the cataclysm in the correct time frame for the Minoan collapse. However, there are significant discrepancies. The Minoan civilization was in the Aegean, not the Atlantic. And it was a Bronze Age culture, not a continent-sized empire with elephants. Other theories have placed Atlantis in various locations within the Mediterranean. Some have suggested Sardinia, citing its ancient neuralgic stone towers. Others have pointed to Cyprus or Malta as possible candidates. A few have even argued for the city of Troy, which was destroyed in a war. Moving into the Atlantic, some researchers have focused on the Azores or the Canary Islands. These volcanic island chains fit the general location described by Plato. More fringe theories have proposed locations far beyond the classical world. The mysterious underwater rock formation known as the Bimini Road in the Bahamas has been cited as evidence. Some have suggested Antarctica, arguing the continent was once ice-free. Others have looked to South America, Ireland, or even the North Sea. Each of these theories relies on speculative interpretations and a selective reading of Plato's text. The fundamental problem for all these hypotheses is a complete lack of direct evidence. Despite decades of searching, no definitive proof of Atlantis has ever been found. Archaeologists have uncovered no ruins, no inscriptions, and no artifacts that point to a lost continent. The ocean floor has been extensively mapped, revealing no signs of a sunken city, matching Plato's description. Mainstream science, history, and archaeology remain united in their conclusion. Atlantis, as described by Plato, is a myth. It is a fictional creation, albeit a masterful one. Yet, the legend of Atlantis refuses to die. Its endurance speaks to a deep human fascination with the unknown. We are drawn to the idea of a lost golden age, a time when humanity was greater and more advanced. The story is a romantic tragedy on the grandest scale. It represents the ultimate cautionary tale of a civilization that had everything and lost it all. The search for Atlantis is more than a hunt for a physical place. It is a quest for a forgotten past and a reflection of our own societal aspirations and fears. The myth serves as a powerful symbol of human potential and the ever-present danger of hubris. It has inspired countless novels, films, and works of art. From Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas to modern blockbuster movies. The name itself has become synonymous with any lost, advanced civilization. Explorers continue to scan the ocean depths, hoping to find a clue. Amateur historians continue to pore over ancient texts for hidden meanings. The debate between myth and reality will likely continue for generations to come. Perhaps the power of Atlantis lies not in whether it was real. Its true power may be in its ability to inspire wonder. It challenges us to imagine a world beyond our own. It pushes the boundaries of our historical and scientific understanding. The story forces us to question the very nature of history, memory, and truth. Was it a memory of a real Bronze Age catastrophe, embellished over time? Or was it a pure invention, a philosophical tool for a brilliant thinker? The Egyptian priests told Solon that the Greeks were like children, with no traditions. They claimed to possess a much deeper, more ancient history of the world. This adds a layer of intrigue to the narrative's origin. Would there be a kernel of truth, a distant memory of a real event? A massive coastal city destroyed by a tsunami would certainly fit the description. Such events have happened throughout human history. The geological instability of the Mediterranean is well documented. But a continent-sized empire with a super army is another matter entirely. The scale of Plato's Atlantis seems to place it firmly in the realm of fantasy. No such civilization could have existed without leaving a massive archaeological footprint. The absence of this footprint is the most damning evidence against its existence. So we are left with the story itself, a masterpiece of world building. Plato's description is so vivid and precise that it feels real. Gives measurements for the canals, the temples, and the city walls. This level of detail is what makes the story so compelling and believable. It is a testament to his skill as a writer and a philosopher. He created a myth that has outlasted empires. a story that continues to spark debate and fire the imagination. Whether a place of fact or a figment of fancy, Atlantis holds a permanent place in our collective consciousness. It is the ultimate lost world, forever hidden beneath the waves.